So I actually recorded a Lucian video a while ago and then realized I didn't really it was one of those live games where I was talking. I didn't really realize that I didn't explain what Lucian did um the whole game. So you like see me running around with these units and not knowing what's really going on. So Lucian, probably from here on out, I'm gonna be only playing this character. In person, I'm only gonna build him and probably Ornn. He is Fury and Body, red orange. He is a champion in set 2 that synergizes with equipment. He says here that your equipment each is key here, give assault, and assault is +1 might while you're an attacker. Each equipment give assault +1 with stacks. So my Lucian here has 2 pieces of equipment on him, and let's say the 2 pieces of equipment each give him +1, he'll be at 5 for the 2 pieces. Except when he attacks with those 2 equipment attached to him, he'll actually be at 7. Right? If I attach another equipment onto him, he's going to get another +1. He's going to go to 8, and whatever that equipment bonus is, if there is a bonus. We're going to be playing this Lucian as our champion unit, and it has Weapon Master, which is extremely relevant in this deck just because we have so many pieces of equipment. And it says, when you play me, you may equip one of your equipment to me for 1 less power. So we recycle 1 less. Usually we're not going to recycle anything because most of the equipment cost to equip is just 1 power. And he kind of moves around the battlefield, right? So we want to just attack and then pull back out. So first time I conquer each turn, ready me. And then after he's ready, usually I'll just pull him back and then he'll swing again next turn. Just doing a voice over here where we attempt to do it in the editor. It's a little hard, but the resolution is better this way instead of just replaying it and then screen recording that way. So here, what I'm gonna do is go ahead, pick my battlefield, Sunken Temple, so we can get that draw from Conquering with the Mighty. They go Hidden Tree, so they get a draw every time they target friendly units with spells. That also includes us, includes both players. I just put Ruin Runner on the bottom, see if I can get an equipment out. Happy with the 2 drop. I win a dice roll, I will be going first. Here we develop, get a body on board, 2 drop. Doesn't do anything when dropped without a unit on my board. It gives a unit ganking, but that's not relevant. Here I'll take Dreaming Tree, I think. And then after I take, I'm wondering if I develop Lucian or an equipment. In this case, just develop Lucian, get ready to conquer back, assuming they conquer with their unit here. Yep, just do that. They should move, get their gold token. Gold is used to pay for power cost. It does come in exhausted, so it cannot be used this turn. Develop a unit that gets to draw 1 when it moves, so they'll probably be moving around a lot. Get a point for holding. I develop this equipment and then pay the recycling cost to equip it to my Lucian. Had some issues here clicking around. There we go. Let them know that, hey, base might we're at 4. Go here. It goes up to 5 because of assault from my legend bonus. And then I re-ready him on Conquer. I can decide to draw by exhausting a rune, which I will get that draw. And I think, do I retreat or do I stay? In this case, I will be retreating Lucian, just because I don't want to get greedy. And I kind of want to use the 2 drop Dreaming Tree as bait. So that's what we're going to end up doing. It is at 2 times speed, or not 2 times, 1.2 times speed, just so the games aren't that long. Here I angle shot, just so I can get the draw 2. The equipment doesn't matter, like attaching it to my unit. I do have to select it, and if I do have an equipment, I'll have to equip it. It doesn't matter here because they are at 4 and I am at 3. They play an On Guard. They didn't need to. I don't know if they forgot about the Mask trigger, which is +1 for attacking by itself or defending by itself. But they might have just valued the Dreaming Tree draw. We kind of have a back and forth, and I'm like, hey, like my spell does target, so I do get to draw 2. Draw 1 from Angle Shot, draw 1 from Dreaming Tree. And the draw 2 here was just really huge for me, I think. Opening up a lot of options. Yeah, drawn to Kiana, drawn to a Warmogs. Both really good draws. I'm wondering, is the opponent just going to hold up, or are they going to develop? And they develop. This develop means that this is pretty open to take. And I'm wondering, do I develop Kiana or my Ruin Runner? I didn't feel like going back in Ruins, so I just developed my Ruin Runner. I do make a mistake here. I develop Warmogs and I pay for the equip cost, but I never paid for the base cost, which is I need to exhaust 1 rune. So I have 1 rune up. Really, I should be tapped out. I don't think it's relevant here, but it could be relevant in other matchups. So that's my fault. My opponent didn't catch it. Sorry, opponent. Buff Lucian, pull him back. Buff from the Warmogs, triggering on Conqueror. They get a movement to draw 1, conquer. Yep. And then they develop their Irelia. And I think they hold up 4 mana here. Just to bait me in, probably. Makes sense. Yep, I just go in with Lucian. Lucian is at 6 because of the assault. They're defending by themselves, so they're at 4. They go up to 6 here, so we would be trading. I do want them to play their pump spells now, rather than play it on Irelia, where she gets more value out of it for targeting her. So I would play an equipment as a quick attachment at reaction speed. In this case, it's called quick draw. Attach it, give me my +2, so really Lucian's at 9, because now there's 2 equipment on him. They ride the win, just so they can move to the other battlefield and get a conquer point. I get my point, ready, and keep the unit safe, and they draw 2. In this case, they should have only drawn 2. They said they draw 3. They don't draw 3 because Dreaming Tree is the first time you target with a spell in the given turn. They targeted it twice. So it should have been 1 from targeting, 2 from moving. And I just say no problem. Just because I didn't keep count. And I should have, because that draw could have meant a lot. They are tapped out here, though. Here, I think I play Warmogs. I'll pay the recycle. Oh, sorry. I recycled an orange earlier because I thought I was going to pay for the Hex Drinker equip, but I'd rather pay for the Warmogs equip. So here I don't have to recycle, but I did have to exhaust 1 because I had 1 floating. Power-wise, it was floating. I make a mistake here. We're actually even because the mask will trigger because it's by itself. So we're both at 7. Their 4 means +4 when they do. I do total might. They're doing the plus might. Just because my numbers are usually staying the same most of the time. Green, not so much. And I make a mistake. So I just angle shot to get out of this mistake where I attach an equipment to my unit. Reaction speed, and I draw 1. So it wasn't that bad. I get to draw, equip to win the fight. Get my point. Move back Lucian. And then there's no point in like putting down more equipment here, I think. So I hold up mana for my 2 plays of Hex Drinker and Lucian signature spell that is pretty much ride the wind, so I can just move to the battlefield and then after I conquer, retreat, and you can conquer on your opponent's turn. It's extremely relevant. So here, we're just sitting. Hold up my mana. They come in, trigger a bunch of stuff. Issue here is that I had to tell him, hey, your spell cannot give -2 to my unit because spells cannot target it. I let him know that, like, hey, you can take it back if you'd like to. No problem. He's like, no, I'm going to stick with it. No problem. So this is a trade here. And he's thinking, okay, what do I do now? I'm like, no problem. And I think he can't let this Irelia die. Like, he has to pump her now because there's only unit on board, and it's a now protect the, in this case, Queen style of build at this point. He's drawn into the spells he needs, most likely. He fight or flights it, which this app is now glitchy, but fight or flight just moves a unit back. And he moves Irelia back, which, because of picking her, she'll get pumped up with damage. Exhaust this legend to re-ready a unit, and that picks the unit, because she has to pick which one to re-ready, so that'll get more damage. And then she comes back into the battlefield, getting +1 from the mask trigger. So I'm thinking, do I Pursuit, or do I Power Fist? Or, I don't know if it's Power Fist, but do I use my Fist spell? Punch Fist, sorry. Which one do I do, right? I Punch Fist first to give my unit +5 to bring him to 14. And I wait just in case they have a Windwall. Defy cannot stop it, Windwall can. Instead, they play another Defiant dance. Hard to see here because of the glitch. But yeah, they played another Defiant stance, which is +2 to Irelia, really +3, because, whenever she gets targeted. I don't get the -2. And I'm like, yep, I'm out of here. I'm going to go Pursuit. Boom. I let them get their point. And me and the opponent kind of had like a mix-up here, because they thought that after their showdown, I was giving them a window to now come to my showdown and play like Ride the Wind, something like that. And they started just playing units. And I was like, oh, like, what are you doing? We still have to get to my showdown, right? And the key thing here is because they need to get to my showdown, and I have to see if it resolves, because after it resolves, if I'm safe, it retreats back to base. So I was like, okay, we're still not on my showdown. And I'm like, hey, wait, I'll get my point, right? Because I conquered the showdown. I was waiting to add the point, but after getting my point, I'm allowed to move back to base. I'm letting him know, like, hey, you're in an open state. We didn't go to my showdown. We have to go to my showdown because it was pending after he completed his showdown over at the temple. I'm letting him know that, like, if my showdown went through, I would have just retreated back, right? Because he was playing super fast, whatnot. And he was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Swing back, or I move back, and he knows it's GG because I just swing in. He just got 2 mana up, and I'm just too huge with my units to really, for him to do anything. All right, so I think he asked for, or I asked for a game 2. I'm like, hey, that was pretty close. I feel like this Irelia could do. He probably learned something from this matchup, and I'm like, I did too. So right here, I side in a removal spell, and I take out. Actually, I take it back out. Sorry. And I take out a Confront, and I take out a 2-drop, and I added these monkeys in. They're called sea monkeys, I think. Just because they can be played down as a 2-drop, Or if you have 3 mana on your turn 1, they can be played as a 3-drop. By 3-drop, sorry, I mean 3-drop, the 3 might as well. So they're kind of flexible in that regard. I drew into 2 of them. I think I added all 3 into my deck and took out 3 other cards. Because I'm assuming he's going first, right? In the best 2 out of 3 format, usually the loser will always pick to go first. Get my extra rune, and this is where I develop that, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm doing my mana wrong. I'd rather just do this. For some reason, I thought I had 4 mana. 4 runes, sorry. So he gets a buff, because I decided to spend 1 extra rune to summon him. So he's a 3-drop for 3 might. So he's just flexible, right? He gets a point. He has a Lonely Poro, where if it dies by itself, it will draw 1. I'm just going to equip here. Go to 4 might. Swing in for 5 here. Play around a discipline. He uses Ride the Wind to go get a point over there. I'll get a point here. And I'm kind of valuing the hold here at this battlefield. I should say that the Willow Tree is a holding one that I'm at. If you hold, draw 1. The other one is if you hold that battlefield, you can play an equipment for 1 cheaper. Here I just play Lucian. Get the Warmogs on him from Weapon Master. Transfer it over to him. Let him know, hey, you get a point for holding. Make sure he remembers that. Yeah, and then he just moves here, which I thought was a pretty good move. He just moves here to ensure that he gets the gold token because he doesn't want to move into the monkey, and then he goes ahead and gets his Irelia out, which is pretty scary. His board state is looking pretty good. My Lucian will go take this out. Go ahead, get the point, buff him. She should be actually at 5 now after the buff. 1 from the Warmogs, 1 from the buff. Warmogs is free here. I'm giving them a window to like let my opponent know, hey, this is free. And he doesn't say much, so I'm like, okay, well, at least, or hopefully he knows it's free. Then I probably am scared of the Irelia. Develop the monkey for 3, put a buff on him. Then I move back monkey and the Lucian. Yeah. This way I really can't just take out my units at these battlefields. She has so much mana up. Poro gets a point. Irelia gets a point. She pays 5 and develops another Irelia. And she has spell for like Ride the Wind, Discipline, all that stuff. So I'm like, okay. I'm not drawing the best. I mean, I drew a lot of units, which I thought was nice. I just didn't know if I wanted to sack my units in terms of trades. Because 2 monkeys into the Irelia would be a trade, and potentially they could even just die. I'm just thinking here, I re-ready my Lucian. Do I equip something? I might be floating. Yeah, I'm floating 1. It's just a little confusing because of equip cost. Monkey will be at 4. It is now 8 to 4. And then he uses this. I think Irelia will go to 7. And then -2 to 1 of mine. So it should be 7 to 6, I believe. Yeah, my math was way off after. To be fair, it was kind of glitchy here. It was not 7 to 6. It was, I believe, or after the pump up here. They go to a lot to a little. Let's just say that. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm just dead here with the monkeys. And I'm just thinking, this Irelia, we use so many of her spells. Is this worth it? And I don't know if it was. So I'm recycling also 2 live runes. I paid the 1 mana earlier because it was floating. But we take the trade here, just because I was able to pump up one of them to the trade. Move Lucian back. And then I think about walloping here just to get a point. Wallop can be free if you remove a buff. In this case, I did remove a buff. Go here, take for a point, kind of catch up here. Get a buff. Me fixing his number. Boom. He cannot re-ready, just because that's once per turn. So I conquer the other one, re-ready. Cannot activate the conquer re-ready again. Irelia gets +1 because she re-readies in the beginning of her turn, which is crazy. That she gets a free +1. I'm like, hey, how did you get that? Which is my mistake. And he's willing to trade here. So it means that he has options. And I'm just gonna try to take the other base, see if he has Defy up for this, or he says, yep, you can have it. He gets his point. He on guards his Irelia. I don't know why he said go when he said no problem. Like he ends up playing on guard and then defies my dash, which is fine. Well, it's not actually fine. I don't have any units. This is actually terrible. Yeah, getting the point there was extremely greedy on my end. Now that I'm watching this, that extra point using wallop, going down a card draw, not swinging into the Irelia. So yeah, he gets 2 points there. I reveal my hand. I'm like, all right, GG. Game 3. So here I'm siding things out. Take out a first mate. And I don't really know what to add in. I'm going first, so I think I just keep my deck how I had it in game 1. And then I'll say I'll go first. The battlefields are I have Hilltop something. It's the battlefield that gives your units ganking, which I think is extremely relevant for Lucian. I think it's his best battlefield. I like it in game 3 the most, just because it can be pretty good for Irelia too, right? They have Sunken Temple, which I had game 1. Super lucky here with the 2-drop. So put some units on board. Yep, just go here, get ganking. This is extremely strong. Because next turn I can just play equipment, equip it to this guy. He can gank over, killing his Poro. Or I can hold, which I will likely hold too, and then just swing in with Lucian for the mighty draw. Like, there's so many options I have here. I hold. I think I play Warmogs on Lucian. Yep. Oh, please tell me I recycle correctly. Yep, I recycle. Lucian now is at a base 4. He'll swing in for 5, be able to trigger Temple. Goes up, re-ready him, put a buff on him. Thinking what I want to do here. I mean, the early development on Irelia is a little scary. It probably means his hand is pretty good. I'll just retreat both units. And I think I play my Lucian here, or is it a D-Blade? Okay. Play Doran's Blade and then Lucian. And we're just going wide this game. Take off the Warmogs, put it on my other Lucian, just so we can get that buff to spread around. Oh no, I do a take back. I'm like, actually, I want this D-Blade. I just want the flat might. Yep, at 5. This Lucian will be at 5 as well. So I have 2 Lucians, both at 5. Hand is not looking... Hand is good. Hand size is not so great. They want to take the ganking battlefield. I'm like, yep, you got it. They want to ride the win, which moves and readies, and then she wants to move back. That kind of tells me that her hand isn't that good if she's moving back, because she could hold and play disciplines and stuff like that to really amp her up to get a lot of value. But the 2 Zanyas, that shows that they were likely bricks, like really bad dead draws. Conquer, draw 1 by exhausting Haroon. Conquer, and then go back. Super standard here, right? Probably has no hard removal in base in green and purple. So let's just develop a Ruin Runner. And I am looking just pretty threatening overall. Like, I could pretty much run over the Irelia, or at least trade, and then have units to spread wide and go get another point, even if they die from holding. I get the rolling here mixed up. I'm like, hey, how is she mighty? And it's because at the end of the, or sorry, in the beginning of a turn, she readies herself, and readying herself gives her the +1. The opponent just didn't add it there because it's, you know, pretty annoying to always add it every time she readies, but I see what he's saying. It makes sense. And I'm like, oh, wait, that's just broken. And I'm just like, this is insane that she is always a 5/5 at the beginning of your turn. So I'm like, my bad. They go 4 here to play, or sorry, they tapped 1 to draw. They play a 2-drop, and they're holding up a lot of mana. So they're like, all right, you can interact with me. It could be a bluff because they have Zanyas. So I'll just do a simple trade here where it's 6 on 5. Sorry, 4 on 5. This will give her +3. 7v5. Or, yep. I'll quick draw, equip. This guy will get pumped up. And then he tries to fight or flight me. And I'm like, hey, you can't target him. And then he's like, oh shit. So I'm like, hey, take it back. Feel free to take back. Do something else. We're playtesting. And this is why Ruin Runner is so strong against purple. Right, you could fight or flight my Lucians, but this guy is just too... He gets too big, you need to brute force it. I'm letting him know the assault bonus is kicking in, so really he's hitting for 8. He triggers his Zanyas, lets Irelia die, I get the point. This Lucian will get a point. Cool, go to 7. And I think I'm in a holding position. Right, conquering both is really hard. He's already used Ride the Wind once. So I'm like, okay, do I hold here? Now do this. Yep. And I hold mana for Lucian signature, which is important here. Because if he goes all in on this battlefield and tries to kill everyone here and is able to overcome the might threshold, I'm just gonna pursuit over to the ganking battlefield and then try to hold it when it gets back to my turn. Here I am. I'm like, yes, like, feel free to do this. Cool. He's gonna, you know, I don't even care how high she gets up to. Obviously, he needs to play all his spells to be able to kill here. Because I'm at 11. I'm like, okay, I don't know what she's at. It doesn't matter what she gets to because of my spell here. I guess it could matter because he can be running a Defy. Which even if he did run a Defy next turn, I would just kill him anyways. Just because my 2 Lucians are huge for the double point. And they're burning all their mana to make sure I don't hold for the winning point. So I'll try this. Oh, I'm actually going to run with my Lucian. Attach equipment onto him. Probably a misplay. I should have went with Ruin Runner. Oh, and then we end up trading. Actually. And I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and they're like, "Yep, you can't win because you need to conquer 2 in the same turn." But she's like, "Yeah, draw 1," and I'm like, "Oh, do you have a way to get rid of this holding?" Well, she might. Ride the win. He draws off the battlefield, plays a Tide Turner. Boom, boom. Exhausts his legend. Irelia is now ready, and he comes here and takes. And I'm like, "Oh shoot." Yeah, I misplayed super bad. I should have just moved the Ruin Runner. I mean, Ruin Runner would still win, but I don't want Lucian dying there. And he's trying to hold. I think he knows it's GG. Just because he's all tapped out. He's got 1 mana. He can Defy. And I'm like being super careful here. I'm like, how can I can still lose this. Because Irelia is at 5. That battlefield, the ganking battlefield, is a 6. Because GA gives her +1. The one to the right is at 2. Like 1 on guard on the elephant at the temple could be super scary. Tap 3. Recycle 1. I'm also floating it. Just getting my mana ready. Yep, I tap 3. So I get this ready to play. Strike down. This Lucian is at 6. He defies it. So I can't remove the Irelia. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I got it out. And then I have just too many options here. Now that they're tapped out, right? Just equip, get rid of a red, equip, he goes up. He can come into here, swing for 10 because of the assault bonus. Equip more Mogs onto this guy to go swing at the elephant for double conquer. So GG's to my opponent.